Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to High Trust Coaching Live. I am Hope Borman. I'm the Divisional President of High Trust Coaching, and I have with me one of my favorite coaches, Zach, one of our High Trust coaches. So welcome, Cindy. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning to you, Hope.
How are you today?
I'm fabulous. I look forward to talking about the topic that we've chosen today.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Me too. She's all ready to go. We're all ready to go. Before I get started, I just want to kind of remind everyone, I know that you may be watching this. We're on StreamYard, so you may be watching this on a different platform. If you're not in High Trust Today Facebook group, we invite you to come and join us. So just go to High Trust Today Facebook group, and there it is right there, and join the group so you can engage with the High Trust community. We would love to have you join us. So let's get started. So today we are going to talk about, the promise of the High Trust Coaching Program. Todd Duncan's promise of the High Trust Coaching Program is to make more money in less time with less stress. And Cindy and I know what that means. All of our coaches know what that means. And a lot of our coaching member knows what that means. But Cindy and I thought it would be a great idea. It seems to be the topic of a conversation this year. It's been the topic of a conversation throughout Sales Mastery. And so Cindy and I thought, what a great idea to really kind of dig deep on that. So Cindy, I'm going to hand this over to you for a minute and, talk to us a little bit about why is it important?
Well, wonderfully, Todd taught me this years ago, and the importance, when we look at just other people in the industry out there, not in the mortgage industry, but you look at plumbers, electricians, you look at anyone else, they absolutely bill you on an hourly time frame. And so they know what they can get done efficiently in that hour time frame, and then you get billed per hour. So the importance of knowing, what your hourly what your hourly wage is truly is the importance of it, because in order for you to make more money in less time and with less stress, comes down to efficiency and really knowing what you're worth. What is your time worth? So just the important there. And I saw a quote that Todd said. He said, if you want to make more money, you need to spend more time on what makes you money.
Yes.
So I just think not in just today's world, but in the mortgage industry in itself, I don't think any other place other than the high trust selling model are asked what your hourly wage is. Most people that come into our program don't know that. And so it just really helps them to dive down to really see what's an hour worth.
Yes, and that's, it's so interesting that you just said that, Cindy, because we were talking earlier before the broadcast went live that not only I don't think that this is something that people think about, but I think that High Trust and Todd Duncan is the only program that has created a measurement. And if we can't measure it, we shouldn't be doing it, right? And not only the measurement and not only how to measure it, but once you do know what your hourly rate is, to be strategic and intentional about how do we increase that hourly rate, right?
Well, I think one thing in the industry that we do measure is our production, our volume. We pride ourselves on getting to the end of the month and we achieved closing 35 loans or whatever your number is. And then we know we've got that commission check. And that's kind of our measurement of success and productivity. But the other part of it that I so often am talking to our coaching clients about is that, really is the law of the broom. And the law of the broom says that if you want to move your business up, you've got to clean your business up.
Right.
And so, in order to do that, efficiency. So when you got it down to focus on production, that's great. But measure your efficiency, and the only way to do that is to take it and dollarize that. And dollarize it down to what is 1 hour of your time worth, and then you go to work to make the best of that hour.
Right. And the thing is that, I think the first thing that comes to mind when people are now looking at it strategically is to how do I make more money in less time? There are so many hours in the day. And the first thing that, that comes up for us in coaching is delegate, right? Get a team, get an assistant, and that type of thing. But some of our coaching members, are not there yet. They're not at the team level yet. So Cindy, can you talk to us a little bit about you're a producer, you're growing your business, you're building your relationships, you're leveraging your database. How does one create, increase their hourly rate? How do they make more money in that type of an environment?
Well, when I work with my coaching clients, what we do is we really take a look at, what is their process. So we really look at, first and foremost,
yes,
where are they spending their time?
Yes.
And so this is one that they're like, oh my, yeah, I gosh, Cindy, you're going to make me do that exercise. And truly, the exercise is every 15 minutes, jot down over I try to get them to do it for 5 days, but every 15 minutes, jot down, what did you do in that 15 minutes? Phone calls, checked your, Facebook, made some phone calls, whatever you did, took an application, whatever you did, jot it down. Yes. Because the visualization of you really looking at where you're spending your time is a real eye opener. And that truly is then to look at that, you just really looking at that and knowing where do you spend time. That's number one.
God,
I did that. Where are you spending your time?
Right. I did that, Cindy, and I'll bet you did too when we first started in the mortgage industry and we went to our first sales mastery and Todd said, have that piece of paper by your desk, at your desk, and start writing down in 15-minute increments what you are spending your time on. And, and do it for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
No, it's a visual. It allows you to really see, because you're busy, but it allows you to really see where you're spending your time. So that's the first thing I really help people do, is to look at where do you spend that time. And then from there, we look at the process, just really walking through every little step they take when they're going to do a loan application or when they get a lead. I've had people that don't use their online app and they're trying to track down things. And so just the smallest of tweaks of what they can do saves them minutes, which add up to lots of minutes, which add up to hours over the course, certainly a course of the month.
Exactly.
So that's just two things that look at where you spend your time and what's your process.
Exactly. And I think that we can't skip that step, Cindy. We really can't skip that step if we're really going to dial in and understand how to be, more efficient with our time. Is we can't skip that step of really first understanding what are you spending your time on and how long is it taking you? How long are your client consultations? How long are you spending on leads? How long are you spending on doing data entry, putting your loan together, underwriting, pre-underwriting your file, all of those things? How long is that taking you to do? And are you multitasking when you're doing that?
Yeah. Todd talks a lot about the 80-20 rule, right? And, just his examples of that is that, truly your 20% of your efforts generate 80% of your results. And so not only just your process internally, but I think also another step that I have people do, to have our coaching clients do, is really look at even their partner relationships. Right? Of, identifying, who is high who is high maintenance and low payoff, or low maintenance and high payoff, and really looking at, because the 80-20 rule comes into play with that too. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of somebody, but it's where are you spending your time?
Yes.
So I think even looking at that and your clients.
Right. And who are you giving your time to? Right, Cindy? Are you giving your time to someone who may or may not be appreciating it? Somebody who is not the highest and best opportunity for you to grow your business, and that type of thing. So we really start thinking about, who are you giving your time to? Once we start establishing what the hourly rate is, what your hourly rate is, let's say it's $100 an hour, let's just say, and you're sitting on the phone listening to someone complain, or listening to an agent who has not done her end of the, kept her end of the street clean and done her work. And you're thinking, at $100 an hour, do I really need to be working with this level of professionalism or non-professionalism?
Right. Yeah.
So, Cindy, you were telling me.
Well, and I think too, Hope.
Yeah. Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
I think too that we ought to say, how do you calculate your hourly wage? Because even we might think it's so simple because we do that. This is one of the metrics that when you're part of High Trust Coaching, it is a metrics that is measured on a monthly basis, because we are truly looking at helping you work less hours and make more money with less stress. And so that is the way you measure efficiency. And the way that you calculate your hourly wages, you take your income, let's just say last month, take your total income from last month and divide it by the estimated number of hours you say that you worked. And that calculates your hourly wage. Now, what we do in coaching is we ask our clients to track, pretty close to how many hours do they put in a week, so that it becomes more accurate. But when you start measuring that, I mean, I've got a coaching client that absolutely, tracks that every single month, and she can see her efforts and the number of hours that she's working, the income she's making, and that her hourly wage is going up.
Yeah, it's very true. And, that is something, and thank you for kind of walking everybody through that, Cindy, because we do this every day. It becomes, it's our language, it's our culture here at High Trust, and not everyone knows. And I know that when we were on Sales Mastery, and one of our coaching members was talking about their hourly rate, there was all of this feedback coming up, and people saying, what is the hourly rate? How do you calculate it? What is it? What is it? What is it? So thank you for walking everyone through as to how to actually calculate that. And, it's something that we do on a monthly basis, and we track it, so let's say that you got a new loan officer assistant, and, that loan officer assistant started on October 1, and up until then, your hourly rate, let's say, was $124 a month. And your LOA goes into place, and now, we're tracking at the end of that following month. Right. And you're saying, okay, how is that loan officer assistant really truly helping you to increase your hourly rate? What is it today? What is it, once she's ramped up? Right. And that type of thing. And you can really start to measure the effectiveness of having that person and what you are doing with that time that has been freed up. Right.
Well, great question. And that's one of the things at Sales Mastery that Todd said is, make a list of the things that you want to be freed from. And when you do track your time in 15-minute increments, you can really see then, I want to be freed up of that, and that. So make a list of what you want to be freed up from. But most importantly, great, if you've got someone to delegate it to, great, just in your scenario. But the challenge then, and it is a challenge for many loan officers, is great. Now that your time's been freed up because you become more efficient, or you have someone to delegate to, make a list of what you want to have freedom to do with that time. Because what we're talking about today is about working on your business, not in it. This is a piece that we're so good at working in our business and getting those loans through the doors and taking care of our clients and taking care of our partners, that we just go, and we run our business based on what's coming at us. I can't say enough that going into the fall, this is the perfect time to really take time, block out time for you to do these exercises. Document your time, consider your hourly wage, take a look at where you can become more efficient in relationships, in your task, because this is what will set you up to go into the next year to truly make more money in less time with less stress.
Exactly. Cindy, I find myself when working with a coaching member and, they say, I've hired a loan officer assistant. I'm saying, great. How long has that person been on board? 45 days. Great. Working out. Great. Oh, she's wonderful. He's great. He's wonderful. I'm saying, great. How many hours of your day have you been able to shave off?
Yeah.
And I hear crickets, right? They don't know. And I said, okay, well, we need to start tracking that.
Yeah.
How many hours are you saving every day by having a loan officer assistant? Question number one. And then question number two is, what are you doing with that extra hour a day or the extra 2 hours a day? How are you spending that time? And it should be in the green zone, right?
Yeah. Well,
I see that.
Yeah. And the law of the hourglass, Todd talks about that in the law of the hourglass of, green time, red time, yellow time. When I learned high trust selling, it was very much implanted dollar producing activities. And those dollar producing activities, absolutely are about prospecting, doing applications, planning. Those are dollar producing activities that don't always get the urgency, right? That a file's fallen apart and you stop everything. So, but they are very, very important. So to go back to what you said in regards to with your free time, what are you doing? Or are you in the habit of still doing what you've always been doing? And so that's on you too, to break that habit.
Right. And, Cindy, that's, so true. And I think that is the, until you start really looking at it and leveraging that extra time, I think human behavior is to just default to that old behavior, right?
Yeah, it's a comfort zone.
Right. That's what I know to do, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's more comfortable to stay there versus making those phone calls or whatever it is that planning can be can be uncomfortable for people. So, but it is really about intention. This is all about being very, very intentional with your time. And I'd love to share just what one of my coaching clients specifically said about this. Would that be all right? Yeah.
Yes, please.
I talked to her, I've talked to her every 2 weeks, but we've really worked on this since January. She came in at $36 per hour. And as of the end of September, she's at $144 per hour.
Wow.
She said, you know what, Cindy? She said it's all due to streamlining my process, setting personal boundaries for a work-life balance, and being intentional on my actions has been the key. With intentional actions, I'm referring to time blocking and keying in on what Todd had talked about too with the jam sessions. And what I mean by that is that you take meaning do the same task for 90-minute sessions versus multitasking different tasks and slowing yourself down. It's truly amazing when you take a step back and look at your schedule and daily task and think to yourself, what are income producing tasks? What are tasks that are really necessary or not necessary? And how can I implement them to become more efficient? So she is,
Wow.
she is so tuned in, and she lives in Upper Michigan. It's
Okay.
very seasonal community. Her market is only a certain time frame. She only works 11 months out of the year, and she does not work weekends or nights on those in that peak time, because her husband charters a fishing guide and she goes out and works the charter with him. So she has created her business. She has set expectations. She has created, when you send her something after hours, there is a automatic email response that comes back that says, "You're very important to me. I am away from the office. I will be back at 7:30 in the morning and I will respond." She has set those expectations with her clients and with her partners, as well as her automation of one timing. She has created email signatures, uh, templates of repetitive conversations and communications that she was typing out all the time. She stopped. We recognized it. She stopped. She created the emails. Now it's just a boop, up, add, hey, thank you, da da da, and it's out the door. So she is a master of producing, and she will easily do close to 50-55 million this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
spectacular. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that story, Cindy. Thank you so much. And so she's working what? How many hours a week would you say? What is her?
Well, for the month of September, she worked 187 hours.
Okay. 187 hours. And
Yep,
she's
for the
not
month.
working weekends and she's not working evenings. And she's going to close somewhere about 55 million. So, it's so funny when we talk to a lot of our coaching members, they understand the concept, but then there's always that, yeah, but I'm going to lose my referral partners. Yeah, but my clients are not going to wait. Just all of those yeah buts, right? And it doesn't seem to have affected her at all in the way that she's created this. And so talk to me a little bit about that. I'm sure it doesn't seem as though she's lost any clients. So what were some of the challenges that came up in the beginning that you can speak to?
Well, when we first got together, I really I love the power of partnerships. I love to have my clients really look at, what are they offering from themselves to a partner? So their accessibility, their communication, their integrity, their knowledge. What are they offering as a solution? On top of what's the clientele they're looking for? Because so many of us in the industry have done the shotgun approach that anything living, breathing, and warm, we will do a loan for. And then we call them our partners. And so, when you get started, it's what you have to do. It is. You've got to get the relationships in. So this is not a down on that at all.
Yeah.
But she's at a level of her business. I think she's been doing this 6 years, and she's at a level now where I quote often what Todd says: be in demand versus on demand.
Yes.
So she identified what she offers, the hours she works. She identified the clientele she wants to work with, including partners. And when I say that, and so when she goes out and builds those partnerships, there are people that want more from her than what she can give to stay balanced in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just lets them know she may not be the lender for them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them respect her. If and on top of it, she has also prioritized her relationships. So she has that top group that, you know what, she may say to them, if you text me and I'm on a charter, then I cannot get back to you because there's no service out there on the lake. But if you text me and I will get back to you. But if you text me, and does she ever take a call in the evening? Sure. But nothing to the level of people that put themselves out there. I'm available 24/7.
So let me ask you a question, Sin, with regard to this specific client. Do you know what her production was 2019? And I know where she started in January at her hourly rate. Do you have any idea of what her production was in 2019?
I don't have it on my top of my head.
Sorry.
I don't. I could go and look real quick at my notes.
I'm just curious. Yeah, because I would imagine if she implemented all of this year and working with you, I would imagine that her business looks very, very different. And I would not be surprised if she did a full 360.
Well, and during COVID. I mean, she works from home. They're not in the bank.
Yeah.
So, the adjustments she has made, and I wish I knew that because it is lower than 35. I wish I knew that because I'd love to brag on her about that. But just as she stated in her email, those small changes have helped her to be in balance. And honestly, I mean, I want to be honest. There have been weeks where she has just worked. But what happens then is she begins to notice she's out of alignment with her intention. So she all of a sudden she's not working out. She's working late at night. She's very good about going, okay, hold on a minute. I got that bulk of the stuff done. I'm pulling back, and now I'm gonna. She runs during the day. So intention. And what she's doing with her time. And that is all about your hourly wage. When you know that your income's at, $144 an hour, and you're sitting there doing data entry into your CRM, that may not be the highest and best use of your time. So I think just circling back around to know that this is possible. We have many, many coaching members in High Trust that measure this, that have seen their level go to their hourly wage go up. And this does not make a difference. Certainly her income is being affected by the volume that's happening today. But even when we do not have, I call it pennies from heaven of refis, even when that's not there, still being efficient with your time increases your hourly wage against the income that you're making. So you can't sit and think and say, oh gosh, well, she's got a lot of volume right now. Well, she does, but she had it before. And she went from $36 an hour to $144 an hour. So the law of the broom, in order for you to move your business up and do more business, you've got to become more efficient.
Right. So, I was thinking about what you said a few minutes ago, and where there are some months where she falls back and she starts working longer hours, and because we measure it every single month, we can fix it quickly. Right. So she's at 144. Let's say that she was working some longer hours, and maybe was defaulting to old habits. Right. But you can catch it fast enough. Right. So, okay, into that month, okay, she went down to $122 an hour. Easy coaching conversation. Right.
Yeah.
What did we do? How do we fix it? Right.
Well, and you can see that she keeps a spreadsheet, her own personal spreadsheet that she can watch. Well, in March is when COVID hit. Okay. And I had been coaching her. We had just started our beginning of our 90-day. in March, she worked 213 hours. Okay. And her hourly rate was $56. Okay. Well, it just continues to went up. Her hours went down. April was 159. She got a raise. She got to $69. May, she did 192 hours, $143 per hour. So she was still less than, I mean, that's doubling, tripling what she did in March and reduced her hours.
Right.
By
Exactly.
being intentional and using what Todd teaches.
Mm-hmm. Implementing what Todd
Yes,
teaches.
implementing.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Implementing what Todd teaches. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because we hear, I mean, I think it's probably a common conversation of during some coaching calls where I know, I need to take care of that. I know, I need to do this. I know, I need to do that. But wow, what an amazing thing that happens when we actually start executing.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's almost like you've been freed or something, right?
Yeah. The freedom. And that's really what kind of Todd said. What do you want to be freed from? And then what does that give you time to have freedom to do? So you're right. Freedom.
Great. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about, we've established our hourly rate and we are tracking it on a regular basis. And you mentioned something a few minutes ago about one-timing. And that's something we teach, in high trust selling methodology. It's something we coach to in high trust coaching. So Cindy, talk to us a little bit about one-timing.
Yeah. It is taking something that you do on a repetitive basis and creating a template. That's the best word I can find at this moment, or a template, so that it is not repeat, so that it is one time. So I'll go back to an example of how she did that. Was she was typing emails of, here are the docs you need, here, welcome to my team. She was typing every single time those emails, and it was really the same thing. So the one timing of that example was that she stopped, took time, created the auto signatures, and now, boom, one timing. Now she can add, hey, Sally, hey, Sam.
Right.
Another is one timing is status updates, right? We loan officers love having those connections and should have those connections with their clients and their referral partners. When you get someone on the phone, it's so wonderful that they want to talk with you. And especially during COVID, it has really been a time where people want to share everything that's going on in their life. Wonderful to do that. But when you're focusing on efficiency, truly what our recommendation is, and it was all over Sales Mastery, is video messaging.
Yeah.
You literally can pull your phone out and within 1 minute, hey, Sally, just want to let you know that, oh my gosh, the appraisal came in. Everything's going fantastic. I look so forward to sharing with you what the next step is.
Right. Yeah.
Boom, push the button, it's done. And you don't get caught up. Now, I want to say, connecting and talking to people is important.
It is.
I'm not saying take that out.
I know you're not.
And just automate, but a video is another way of one timing. Maybe you do a video, one timing video on top 5 questions of, the disclosure.
Yeah.
What are the questions you continually get? How can you one time that? So that's just a few examples of one timing.
Yeah. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah. And that is something we should always be thinking about throughout the day. And maybe that could be our call to action for today's Coaching Live, is, to take note of those things that you are doing repeatedly, those email messages, those outbound calls, those inbound calls. What are you doing that you're repeating every day that you could create a template for, a video for, and maybe buy yourself back 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour during that day, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So Cindy, I'm going to shift a little bit because we're coming up to the end of our half hour. So thank you. This is a very robust conversation. You've been a coach with us for now going on 2 years, yes?
About a year and a half, but
a year and a half. And you have such an amazing background, and we've always been just felt so blessed to have you as one of our coaches, and the work and how deeply you care about our coaching members. What has it been like for you to be a high trust coach?
It's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to coach for my mentor, Todd Duncan.
Yeah.
It's an honor to take what I know works because I used it. I still use it. It is an honor to absolutely meet so many people that want to make a difference in their life, that want to be the best version of who they are, that have goals and dreams for their family, and that always know when they come to coaching, they know that I hear it all the time. Cindy, I know I've got more. I've got more that I can do, and I'm in my way, and or I need processes, or I need systems, or I need support and accountability. So being able to bring that to the table and share that with our clients absolutely fills my bucket and is a passion of mine. It's been a wonderful career and a wonderful opportunity to blend all of it here at High Trust.
Yes. Thank you, Cindy. Well, we appreciate you. Truly. So I am always, growing the High Trust coaching faculty. We're always looking for people that, it is a unique profile. So if you would like to see if you qualify to be a High Trust coach, please do shoot me an email, hope.borman@hightrustcoaching.com. And I'd love to have that conversation with you. For those of you that are on the call and want to really, as Cindy said, be a better version of themselves, increase their business, they know in your heart that there's opportunity for you to grow your business and leverage your business. Do take a moment, have a free coaching call. You can call in and get a free coaching consultation with any one of our coach consultants. Just go to hightrustcoaching.com and schedule a free coaching consultation. With that, I'm going to say thank you, Cindy, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been so much fun. And thank you all for joining us. And we will be back next Wednesday with another High Trust Coaching Live. So have an amazing week.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.